That's facts. God is great. I'm gonna add to that thought,
Please.
briefly, because when was this? Probably last year. I was listening to Miranda Curtis is probably one of my favorite worship artists, and she was at this church in Canada. It was one of those, those random, like, the church recorded it and they threw it up on YouTube.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
be liking it.
Me too.
Because it'd be like, 30 minutes of just random spontaneous worship.
I love it. We love that.
That's just my favorite.
Yeah.
So she gets to this point where she starts to just sing and call on God, who's the Lord of hosts, and say, like, you'll fight for me. You'll fight for me. And I was just teaching through David and Goliath about God fighting for him. So it was already on my mind. But I had been teaching through it so excited.
Yeah.
And feeling like, yes, like he is a warrior and like working on behalf of his people. And I felt like the Lord was like, but you don't believe that. I was like, wait. And he was like, you don't believe I'll fight for you. That's why you're so guarded. That's why you don't love people. That's why you don't trust people. I was like, dang. Like I didn't know my unbelief was showing up in that way. Right.
Wow.
And so I sat with God. I said, okay, God, I was like, I need you to show me when you fought for me, because it's hard to believe it. I've been through a lot, right? I've been abandoned. I've been rejected. I've been bullied. My dad walked out. I've been molested. Like, that don't feel, I know you good, but that don't feel like you defended me. And so maybe a week later, I got a random DM from my brother on my dad's side. I got 2 siblings on my dad's side, and we don't ever talk. And he just randomly DM'd me, and I was like, okay, we'll see what this is about. I probably ain't talked to this man since my daughter was a baby, so probably 7 years ago. So we get on the phone. Long story short, he starts talking about our dad, and he was closer to him than I ever was. My dad was very much in and out of my life. I might have saw him 10 times in my whole life, right? And so he was telling me about how my dad did these really obnoxious things where he was like abusing women, where he was like doing drugs, where he was doing all of this stuff. And I felt like the Holy Spirit in the strongest way says, your fatherlessness was me protecting you. I did not want you to be around that. And I was like, I was like, that is a paradigm shift for me, where this whole entire time I've been feeling like my dad left and abandoned me. And it's such a marker in how I see myself, but actually seeing that the Lord was keeping me from danger, keeping me from observing his treatment of women, keeping me from being exposed to stuff because of his drug abuse, keeping me from all of that. Why? Because he's the Lord of hosts. And so I think we got to start asking God these questions, saying, God, okay, you said this, show me. Show me in humility, but saying, show me. And he will increase your faith because of it. So now I feel very confident. I still struggle because I still don't trust people, but I feel more confident in knowing, oh, you really are working all things together for my good.